You call it patience. You call it being understanding. You call it not wanting drama. But sometimes it's self-abandonment. Have you ever stayed quiet when something hurt you, just to keep the peace? Have you ever accepted less than you needed and told yourself it was fine? Have you ever felt exhausted in a relationship, but guilty for even thinking about leaving? If that sounds familiar, you might have learned to tolerate more than you should. This doesn't start in adulthood. For many people, this pattern begins in childhood. Maybe you were the easy one, the mature one, the one who didn't cause problems. Maybe you learned that being loved meant being low maintenance. So you adapted. You stayed quiet. You adjusted. You swallowed your needs. And everyone praised you for it. But here's the part no one told you. When you constantly ignore your own discomfort to make others comfortable, your brain starts believing your needs don't matter as much. Not loudly, not consciously, but quietly, in the background. And that belief follows you into adult life. You might struggle to say, "That hurt me." You might feel anxious before expressing a boundary. You might over-explain why you're allowed to be upset. Because somewhere deep down, your system learned this rule. Other people's feelings are more important than mine. And the hardest part? You don't even realize you're doing it. It feels like kindness, like patience, like love. But love that costs you your voice eventually turns into resentment. Not because you're mean, but because you're human. If this is hitting home, take a breath for a second. You're not weak for being this way, and you're not alone. Comment the word "relate" if you've ever stayed quiet just to avoid conflict. Sometimes seeing your experience in words is the first step toward changing it. And if you want more videos that help you understand why you do what you do emotionally, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Here's another reason you might tolerate too much: fear of rejection. Your nervous system might treat conflict like a threat to connection. So when something feels wrong, your body doesn't think, "I should speak up." It thinks, "If I say something, I might lose them." So you stay silent. You smooth things over. You convince yourself it's not a big deal. But inside, it is a big deal. Over time, this creates a painful pattern. You give more. You accept less. You hope they'll notice. And when they don't, you feel unseen, unimportant, or drained. Not because you asked for too much, but because you never felt allowed to ask at all. You might even be the person everyone comes to for support, the strong one, the understanding one. But when you are overwhelmed, you say, "It's fine, I'll handle it." Because asking for help feels uncomfortable, almost wrong. That's not independence. That's emotional survival mode. The truth is, high tolerance for emotional pain is not a personality trait. It's often a learned response to environments where your needs weren't fully met or welcomed. You adapted to stay connected. You adapted to stay safe. But the strategy that protected you then might be hurting you now. Healing starts with a small but powerful shift. Noticing when discomfort shows up and not immediately pushing it away. Letting yourself think, "This doesn't feel good. This matters. I matter." That's not selfish. That's self-respect. You don't have to become confrontational. You don't have to change overnight. But learning to value your own feelings as much as you value everyone else's changes everything. Because the goal isn't to tolerate more. It's to abandon yourself less. If this video described a pattern you've been living in, tell me in the comments what part felt the most familiar. Your stories help shape future videos so we can talk about the things people usually keep quiet about. And if you want more psychology and motivation content that helps you understand yourself on a deeper level, subscribe and stay with this channel. You deserve relationships where you don't have to shrink to be loved. And learning that starts right here.